When most gearheads think of an Italian car, the first thing that comes to mind is beauty and luxury. Lamborghini, Ferrari, and Alfa Romeo, to name a few, are known for producing some of the most beautiful cars of all time, such as the Ferrari 250 GTO, Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, and Lamborghini Miura. Even Italian automakers, however, are not immune to failure. The harsh reality is that Italians have also created some truly hideous vehicles that make us wonder if the designers had their eyes closed when creating them. So, let's take a look at 10 ugly cars that show that even the Italians can screw up their designs from time to time. Hi guys, welcome to Finest Vehicles. Today we will look at the ugliest Italian cars. And stay tuned, because somewhere in this video we will present a fun fact that you will find very interesting. Number 10. The 1995 Lancia Ypsilon. Lancia's decline is perfectly represented by the Ypsilon. The Ypsilon was supposed to be a small, affordable, and economical hatchback for young families when it debuted in 1995. Unfortunately, it had a terrible design that earned it a lot of flack. The front end of the Ypsilon appears squashed, while the back appears out of proportion. Despite its unappealing appearance, the Ypsilon is still in production. In case you're wondering, modern generations look just as bad. Number 9. The 1956 Ferrari Superamerica 410. When Ferrari wants to build a car with an eye-catching design, it usually works with Pininfarina. However, in the 1950s, Ferrari attempted to collaborate with Ghia on a concept car, which proved disastrous. The Ferrari 410 Superamerica concept car was supposed to be Ferrari's take on contemporary American designs. However, it was a colossal failure. The car featured an oversized chrome grille that was unlike any other Ferrari grille, an unsightly chrome panel running along the waistline, a wraparound windshield, and hideous tail fins that housed the taillights. The V12 engine was excellent, but this appears to be a mashup of several car models. The front end is far too muscle car, while the back end combines a hot rod with the width of a station wagon, and tail fins on a Ferrari are simply wrong. It's no surprise that the company never worked with Ghia again, allowing this to be a one-time occurrence. We're lucky that this horrible car was never produced. Number 8. The Covey C6W. The Covey C6W is one of those vehicles that makes you wonder what they were thinking. One thing stands out about this vehicle is that it has 6 wheels. Yes, someone thought a 6-wheeled supercar would be a good idea. The C6W was the source of many debates, with some gearheads claiming that the extra pair of wheels would improve driving dynamics. But one thing every gearhead agreed on was that it's not a pretty sight to behold. The Covey C6W's logic is obvious. If 4 wheels help a supercar, obviously adding 2 makes it faster. The 4.2-liter V8 can now produce 500 horsepower, but that doesn't help when 2 extra tires are added to weigh it down. Instead of resembling a modern Batmobile, it appears stupid and tacky. The detachable roof is nice, but the otherwise smooth style is ruined by that awful front half, as the additional tires ruin an otherwise lovely car. Number 7. The Lamborghini LM002. Lamborghini is known for producing high-performance supercars that every gearhead desires to drive. However, in the late 1980s, the Italian company attempted to build something completely different, and it was a massive off-road truck. During its development, the LM002, also known as the Rambo Lumbo, piqued the interest of gearheads. Unfortunately, when Lamborghini finally revealed the vehicle, the excitement turned to rage. Despite having a Countach-sourced V12 under the hood and many luxury amenities, the LM002 was simply too ugly for most gearheads. It's not surprising that only 328 were produced. Why would a company as respected and admired as Lamborghini try to cash in on the late 80s Hummer craze? When it had 6 wheels, the LM002 was bad enough in concept. Even after that was thankfully dropped, it still looked bad with its overly boxy style and lacked the beauty of a regular Lamborghini. The engine was as good as a V12, but the fuel economy was bad for its time, let alone today. Fortunately, the company learned its lesson with the Urus, so consider this a very rough draft. Number 6. The Alfa Romeo 166. The 166 is another Alfa Romeo that does not belong in the club of beautiful cars. The 166, which debuted in 1996, was a large executive sedan designed to compete with German sedans from Mercedes-Benz, Audi, and BMW. Unfortunately, the 166 failed miserably because it couldn't compete with its German competitors in terms of looks. The headlights were too small and too far apart, and the tiny grille looked out of place. Number 5. The Ferrari 308 GT4. Without the label, you'd never guess the 308 GT4 was a cheap Ferrari replica rather than a Maranello sports car. It has an odd body kit and is frequently ranked as one of the worst Ferraris ever made. The addition of rear seating threw the classic Ferrari frame off, and it appears to be a communist block knockoff rather than one of Enzo's creations. It's not bad in terms of performance, with a V8 producing 220 horsepower, but you have to put up with horrible interiors, so it's no surprise this car is cheap. Number 4. The Ferrari 308 Rainbow. You know a Ferrari is bad when it is declared so ugly that it never makes it past the concept stage. In 1976, the 308 Rainbow was conceived as a revival of the Dino line. It's no surprise it became extinct so quickly. The wide wedge profile and sharp nose set it apart from other cars at the time, especially a Ferrari. The pop-up headlights, strange roof, and strange rear lights were simply too unusual for mass production. It would inspire some later models, but the Rainbow never saw the light of day in production. Number 3. The Lamborghini Veneno. Lamborghini is no stranger to outlandish designs. Just look at the Countach and almost every other Lamborghini built after it. However, Lamborghini designers have occasionally gone too far with their designs, and the Veneno is an excellent example of this. When the Veneno debuted in 2013, most gearheads were underwhelmed by its design. There are too many creases and vents on its bodywork, giving the impression that it has been in an accident. Despite its unappealing appearance, the Veneno is one of the most expensive supercars ever built, costing more than $4 million. Number 2. The Lancia Thesis. The Thesis was supposed to be one of the top luxury cars of the 2000s, the type used by business executives and dignitaries to travel to airports. Unfortunately, it turned out to be yet another Lancia blunder, owing largely to its poor design features. The worst thing about the Thesis was its front end, which looked strange and minimalistic, with out-of-place headlights and a grille resembling a medieval shield. The back end was just as bad, especially with those strangely shaped taillights. Before we go to the number 1 on this list, here's the fun fact of this video. Did you know that every year traffic congestion wastes approximately 3 billion gallons of fuel? That thing is a gas guzzler. And now, for number 1. The Fiat Multiple. Fiat's Multiple has won numerous awards since its introduction in the late 1990s. Unfortunately, all of the Multiple's awards have been for having the ugliest features in any car. The design of the Multiple isn't particularly interesting, and it appears to have been purposefully designed to be ugly. The Multiple appears to be two ugly cars that were chopped up and glued together, each with its own headlights. It's incredible that this horror came from Italy, and it's mind-boggling that it came from the designers of the 124 Spider. Surprisingly, this is the best Multiple version yet, demonstrating how bad it is. Not only is the exterior unusual, but it also has two glove boxes and oversized sun visors. The unfortunate part is that it is not a bad car in terms of performance, but it looks absolutely terrible, especially for a company like Fiat. Which one would you like to own? Give your opinion in the comments. Did you enjoy this video? Then please like and subscribe for more of the best new vehicle videos here at Finest Vehicles.